We're back. All right, not everybody, but I am. Hey, it's showtime, baby. Welcome back into the ball pit, wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching right now. Cover Your Balls is back after a 2-week hiatus. Last time we saw you guys, last time we talked with you guys, or talked to you guys, I guess is what we would say, it was the NFL draft back on April 29th. And now here we are, May 13th, exactly 2 weeks later, recording a brand new episode. And before we get into the many things that we've missed out on the past 2 weeks, before we start covering all your balls, tell you who has bigger balls, maybe some good headlines, we need to explain why we were gone for 2 weeks. So, without further ado, if you're new, you can kind of disregard this because now you're coming in at a transition period. But if you're out there in the ball pit, there's some changes being made here on Cover Your Balls. Jordan decided to pursue other opportunities. He is no longer with us as a full-time member. He is welcome back on the show anytime, obviously. He's family. He's my cousin. And he just a couple different things going on, so he decided to step away. With that being said, we're going to keep the ball rolling. We had already gathered a nice little following of everybody out there in the ball pit. If you're new to the show, the ball pit is where all the listeners are. As we cover your balls, you'll be in the ball pit. So with Jordan leaving, that means there was a couple positions to be filled. Well, he's not here today. Actually, he's graduating right now while we record this episode. Sam Summers is my new co-host for Cover Your Balls. He was a fan favorite when he came on and joined Jordan and I. Figured keep him around. Why not? Great controversy. We love to debate. Best friends since what? 3rd grade. So Sam Summers is my new co-host on Cover Your Balls. But with the loss of Jordan, we lost a lot of production and a lot of graphic and a lot of behind the scenes work. So we had to find somebody else to take that over. And I didn't have to look far. As you guys know, if you've been following us, I've been broadcasting baseball games this spring for my alma mater, Jackson High School. Well, while I broadcast, there's somebody else doing behind the scenes, doing camera work, transitions, commercials, all the things that people don't really think about when it comes to broadcast media and everything behind the scenes. So now we welcome in Gianni Capuano. Gianni is joining Cover Your Balls. He is the producer now of Cover Your Balls. He will handle all the transitions, everything you see on the screen graphic-wise, nameplates, and he just doesn't do that for Cover Your Balls. He does that with his own business, Capuano Media, LLC. So without further ado, I welcome in Gianni Capuano, who is here with me today as we record what we're just going to call episode 50. We might be skipping over a couple episodes. Who knows? But it's a brand new start for Cover Your Balls. We're going to go with 50 and work up from there. So, Gianni, welcome aboard.
Hello. I know the camera quality for me isn't the best right now. This is just through the laptop. But, we will be getting better as the time goes on. I am very happy to be here. Obviously, like Mitch said, I've been doing this, for quite a while now. So, I'm very excited to be on board. I'm excited to get things going. We're going to be very consistent with these things, and the quality will continue to improve. We're going to keep having transitions, different graphics, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. You'll find me chiming in and kind of talking to both of the guys. Although Sam's not here today, we'll have him in the future. But, I'm just overall really excited to be here, and quality is going to improve, and we're going to be pumping out videos like crazy, so I'm excited.
Amen. That's about all I can say to that. So with you saying that, I'll just come out right now. As you know, the previous schedule for Cover Your Balls was 4 p.m.s live on YouTube on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Guys, it's going to change a little bit. With Sam graduating from Kent State today, and he's a childhood education major, and he's still looking for teaching opportunities. But with him, if we're going to take off with this and run with this for a long time, we need to find something that's going to be able to be accessible for not only Sam and I, but Gianni as well. So the live shows will still happen, just not twice a week, maybe not weekly, but they will definitely happen once, twice a month. But we'll keep you guys updated as we go on. Once we really get things rolling again, once we get a feel for each other and the schedule, we will let you guys know. And if you're subscribed to YouTube, it won't matter. You'll see them on your feed every time you get on YouTube. If you're subscribed to us on Apple Podcast, Spotify, you'll be alerted when an episode drops. But at the very least, we will be pumping out one episode per week on Spotify and Apple Podcast platforms. That's at the very minimum. Depending on what's going on in sports, well, there could be more episodes per week. There could be a lot of live shows. But my thing is get more people involved right now, whether it's friends from Sam, Gianni, or I, whether it's us utilizing some of the equipment we have and taking phone calls from callers and listeners, which I think is a great way to get people involved. A lot of new ways we're going to get people involved. A lot of new things coming to Cover Your Balls. So just thank you for staying patient with us during this 2-week period. Thank you for staying patient with us as we continue to move forward. But we will get back to where we were and go further beyond that. You have my word. But without further ado, it's showtime. And Gianni, I know you weren't here last episode. A lot's happened in 2 weeks, dude. A lot has happened.
Yes, it has.
The last time we were live, it was our NFL draft preview, with Jordan, Sam, and Mitch Farnsworth and I. And that was a great time. We got off air before the Browns drafted, but there's about 8 major topics I have written down today. And we're not going to get to them all. What this is letting you guys know what was going on. We're going to touch on a couple topics and then save some for when Sam comes back early next week so we can get this thing rolling together. No big headlines today either. Who has bigger ball candidates? If you're new to the show, you always want to stay tuned for that, rather. None of that today. But some of the big topics I have written down here, Gianni, since the NFL draft has ended, a guy by the name of Tim Tebow signed in Jacksonville. Aaron Rodgers, this quarterback apparently in Green Bay, MVP, is pretty good, I heard. Once out of Green Bay. The NFL schedule was released, and people think the Browns are going 17-0. Vegas has them at 9 wins, and Vegas hardly ever misses. Russell Westbrook, a player in the NBA who gets a lot of hate that he stat pads his stats. I don't know. Who cares? Well, he broke Oscar Robinson's triple-double record, one of the records in NBA history that was told would never, ever even come close to being broken. Well, Russ owns it now, and we're going to touch on that and why he gets so much hate. Medina Spirit, Bob Baffert. Yeah, that's right. We're going to touch and cover a new sport, horse racing. But why? There's a lot of controversy over Medina Spirit, the Kentucky Derby winner in 2021, who got busted for PEDs. We'll come back to that. My Cleveland Indians are hot. A Terry Francona-led team, Jose Ramirez, who is better than Francisco Lindor. I've been saying it for about 5 years now, and nobody wants to acknowledge it, but it's okay. I will. They're hot. Half game out of first place right now at 21-14. Do we believe them or not? We need to talk about the Cavs, even though I don't want to, because they pissed me off last night because they decided to win a game. I wanted to see them lose 14 in a row. No, I'm not a fake Cavs fan. I just don't know why you'd want to win meaningless basketball games and not improve your draft pick. And then we need to recap the Browns draft too. We're going to save that for when Sam's back. I can tell you that for sure. But Gianni, let's just start down south where the weather is always good. The past couple weeks in Ohio, the weather has been shitty. You don't even know what's coming. So let's start in Jacksonville, Florida. One of the largest cities, by the way. It is the largest city in Florida. It makes no sense. A guy by the name of Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow, who played college football at Florida, a Heisman winner, 2-time Heisman finalist, got drafted by the Denver Broncos, won a playoff game, beat the Steelers. Amazing. I have his jersey on right now. He might have beat my Buckeyes in the national championship in 2007. That's okay. I'm still a big Tebow supporter. But then Tim said, after runs with the Broncos and the Jets and the Patriots, football isn't for me. I'm going to pursue baseball. Well, Tim went, and the New York Mets picked him up. Now, Tim never made it up to the majors, but he was in the minors and played you'd say average, I'd say. I mean, nothing to drop your jaw at, but then Tim decided to step away from baseball. He's big on ESPN, covers college football, a lot of other big topics. Well, Gianni, now Tim is coming back to the NFL, and it's rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. It's even rubbed me the wrong way. Look, I'm going to support Tim Tebow wherever he goes. I'm a big Tebow fan because so many people hate him. But he's coming back to the NFL to play a position he's never played before. He has been out of the league for 8 years. What do you make of Tim Tebow, the tight end for the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Look, Mitch, like the graphic that is on screen here, on your main screen here, I think it's Tebow time. I mean, one thing we know about Tim Tebow, if he's not playing the quarterback position, he's playing the tight end position. If there's one thing we know about Tim Tebow is his work ethic is off the chain.
Mhm.
So one thing you're
Absolutely.
not going to have to worry about is him, working hard to fit that position. Now, whether he'll perform, he's obviously got the build for a tight end, especially if he's hitting the weight room, which I know he is.
Yeah.
Um, I have no doubts that he can be a legitimate tight end in the NFL. And, and I think this is something that just the NFL needs just to get viewers tuned in.
Oh, absolutely.
The viewership, obviously, for the NFL, who knows if it's been going down or if it's been up. There's a lot of talk about it. But this stuff is just good for the sport. It's going to get people watching. As you know, I'm a big NFL guy. But I'm excited to see this happen, and I'm sure a lot of other people are. And I can't wait to see him in uniform.
You said a lot of good things there. Tim Tebow will be ready. And if he does make the final roster, the 53-man roster, you bet your sweet ass I'm getting a Jacksonville Jaguars jersey with the name Tebow on the back.
Yes, sir.
Going to be interesting to see what number he wears, because he's worn 15 his entire life, even his baseball number. I got his Mets baseball jersey hanging up there. He was number 15. Now, I know the rule changes and everything this year, but I'm not sure if tight ends are going to be able to or permitted to wear number 15. But that's not here nor there. A lot of people are upset at this. Why? One, is it a publicity stunt? Two, there are people out there who say this is Urban Meyer repaying Tim Tebow with a favor. Yes, that's right. Urban Meyer, in case you've been under a rock for the past 6 months, is the new head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'll go on record right now. I think Urban Meyer flops as a head coach. I give him 3 years tops at Jacksonville. He is not an NFL coach. He has already made a mistake by one of the strength coordinators he tried to hire, who was under investigation by Iowa for racist remarks. That's strike one, Herb. This could be strike two. Why? Because you took a kid that's never played this position, unproven at tight end. And look, we might all be wrong for judging this right now, because who knows? Tim Tebow might be one of the best tight ends ever, even though it's probably not possible. But you take a guy when you have other players out there busting their ass for an NFL roster spot who have played tight end their entire life. This, to me, seems like a publicity stunt, and also a friend helping a friend out. Tim wanted to get back into the NFL. Well, there's his old coach, Urban Meyer, who they won a national championship together. So let's reunite in the state they won a national championship in together. But Gianni, I'm rooting for Tim. I'm obviously rooting for Urban Meyer, but I don't think Urban Meyer is an NFL coach, like I said. What? It just doesn't make sense to me. What on earth? And then you just had the number one pick. You draft Trevor Lawrence. What's going through Trevor Lawrence's head?
Here's the thing, Mitch. Is it a publicity stunt? Who knows? In my eyes, who the hell cares?
It's true.
Because guess what? Even if it is a publicity stunt, I mean, I can't speak. Even if it is that, who cares? If you're a Jacksonville fan, one, you got Trevor Lawrence coming in. Things are already looking up. People are already excited about Jacksonville Jaguars football, which before this, who in the hell cared about, the Jaguars football team?
Fair point.
They have Trevor Lawrence. Now they have Tim Tebow coming back, and they're going to have more fans and more hype than ever around their team. So who cares if it's a publicity stunt? Who cares? It's to get more eyeballs on their team. I think that's exactly what it is, and it's going to do exactly that. And hey, Tim Tebow's got a bigger name than the unknown guys trying to get it and struggle to get in the NFL. It is what it is. That's the game, man. Like, that's the whole game. So in my eyes, I see zero issue with it. I'm excited to see it all happen. Is it just to get more eyeballs on their team? Maybe. And if that is, kudos to Jacksonville, because that's what you got to do to make money. I guarantee they're going to make more money than the past 10 years just off Trevor Lawrence and Tim Tebow stuff alone.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. And the big thing is Tebow will have to make the 53-man roster, but already they're getting more media coverage strictly because of the name Tim Tebow and the move this has made. Controversy sells. We've said it before. No publicity is bad publicity. Tyler Egan out there in the ball pit, who, Gianni, he's always said that too. He agrees. No pub is bad pub. And here's the Jaguars taking a flyer on a guy who's never played a position. Yes, we know his name. We know what he's about. But all of a sudden, everyone's talking about Jacksonville. It's what you want. If you're the Jaguars owner, think about all the publicity you're getting now from all over the country. I mean, we're here based in Ohio, and ESPN Cleveland called Jacksonville this past weekend for a bit they do on their show to ask them about their thoughts on Tim Tebow. You're bringing other markets down there. So right now, even if first off, if it's a publicity stunt, genius. That's all there is to it. Jacksonville and Urban Meyer and their general manager, who I don't know, it's a genius move if it's strictly a publicity stunt.
Whether you like it or not, people want to make money and people will get theirs. These rich owners, these guys, they want to make money, and bringing Tim Tebow to Jacksonville, which has not been a popular spot for football, they are doing the right move here. I think this is more than the right move. I think this is a genius marketing move. Whether if Tim Tebow, they don't care if Tim Tebow works out or not in Jacksonville. Right. He could play for a year. They don't care. They're worried about this year. They're worried about selling Tim Tebow jerseys and getting hype around their team.
Poor Trevor Lawrence now. Like, imagine if Trevor Lawrence trots out there week 1. Who I don't even have the Jags schedule in front of me. We're going to touch on the NFL schedule probably when Sam's back. But, like, what if Lawrence trots out there week 1 and throws an interception? Do the Jag fans start going, Tebow, like to play quarterback all of a sudden? Is that what we're going to see?
To be totally honest with you, Mitch, I didn't even think about that. That did not even cross my mind once. And that, I don't know. I mean, I feel like Trevor Lawrence has such a hype around him that it's not a situation to where the Jaguar fans will be so ready to like set him aside. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He's still very new. Now, if Tim Tebow's still with him and it's like year 2, year 3 and that happens, maybe we can talk about that. But for now, I think there's too much hype around Trevor Lawrence for there to be backlash, this quickly. I don't think there will be a problem with that, but it's a good conversation to bring up.
You never know. And what's hilarious about this is, if you've watched previous episodes, I usually have my laptop in front of me, but since Gianni's a producer, he's got my laptop, he's using that to do everything. But so I'm using my phone as, research and notes I have. And the very first thing I pull up when I went to go look at a notification, and you can't see it, but it's a picture of Tim Tebow on Instagram. The very first thing I see, Tim Tebow in a Florida Gators jersey. How ironic is that? And like, no, I'm not pulling your guys' leg if you can even see that on the camera right now. I'm scrolling through very top, boom. Shout out to Friday Beers, by the way. That's who posted. Just, you never know who's listening. It's like Instagram's just out here creeping on the Cover Your Balls podcast. Kind of wild, but we're going to have to see how that plays out. I know Sam Summers has a big take on that one because Sam's just not a big Tebow guy. He bet me back in like whatever year the Broncos beat the Steelers. Is that 2012? I think. Yeah. When Tebow hit Demaryius Thomas across, and then he said they wouldn't win, so then he needed to write Tebow and marker on his back, like make a jersey on his back with marker. And I still have a picture of that from when we were in freshman year of high school. But let's talk about some more controversy.
Let's do it.
Take your pick. Do you want to stay in the sport of football, or do you want to go to an entirely different sport?
I think I want to get a little different.
Well, we're going to definitely get different here. We're going to talk about something that I've never even watched before. And I'm not ashamed to say that. I've never once thought about covering it before. But, Gianni, as I just said, all publicity is good publicity. Controversy sells. And has there ever been more controversy surrounding a Kentucky Derby winner, a horse and its trainer, Medina Spirit, and Bob Baffert? Bob Baffert, considered one of the greatest, if not the greatest trainer in horse racing history. People have considered him the Tom Brady of horse racing, which is hilarious because Tom Brady's not the GOAT, in my opinion, in football anyways. So Bob Baffert then, therefore, isn't the GOAT in horse racing. And what's funny is they both cheated before. So that's just even better. They literally line up together. Tom Brady deflates balls and throws them to beat the Colts a couple years ago. And now here's Bob Baffert giving his horse performance-enhancing drugs. First off, that's on me. Shame on me for not thinking you could give animals performance-enhancing drugs. Like, that's just, I'll take blame for that. I wasn't open-minded there. But all the people out there sticking up for him, you don't do your research. You just strictly don't do your research, because this isn't the first time Bob Baffert has been caught. It's the first time he's been caught with a horse using performance-enhancing drugs that won a race. 5 times since the calendar has rolled over to the year of 2020, a year a lot of us want to forget. This is now his 5th horse that has been busted for PEDs. Bob Baffert is a cheater. So everybody out there that thinks he's the GOAT, you think the greatest of all time is somebody who's literally been caught cheating not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, 5 times. 5 times. And then the best part is he hits you with well, I don't know how it got in his system. Sir, you're the one who trains the horse. Sir, you're literally the one that's with the horse the most. What do you mean you don't know how it got in its system? So Bob Baffert went on this huge rampage saying, Medina's Spirit did not take performance-enhancing drugs, blah, blah, blah. He called it cancel culture. He looked like a fool for doing that on live television. He said it was somebody else, a horse peed on something and ate, and it got performance-enhancing drugs that way, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? Once the reports went through and the first drug test came back, Bob Baffert put out a statement saying, it has come to my attention that we used an ointment on the horse's butt that when it had a rash of some sort that my vet now tells me is illegal. Oh, how convenient. Now tells you it was illegal, Bob. Get your head out of your ass, just like your horse had a problem with its ass, and just own up to the fact that you were cheating. You finally got caught. Like, you got caught in the middle of a race. You didn't get caught before like your other 4 horses. You got caught winning the Kentucky Derby. Like, what a bad look.
Yeah, it's a tough look. And,
you hate to see it.
Obviously, I'm not big into horse racing. I don't know horse racing. This guy's name that you said, I don't even know him. That's how little I know about horse racing. But, if it's true, 5 times cheating, that's a lot. That's not a rookie mistake. That's a seasoned vet. So, my whole thing on it is, like I said, any publicity, we're talking about it. I don't even care about horse racing, but we're talking about it. So, who knows? Maybe it'll make horse racing more popular in the future. Maybe it'll get more eyes on it. Maybe it'll not. I mean, I saw something online that there's like Bitcoin horse racing things going online right now. Who knows what's going on with that thing? But horse racing, I don't know that much about it, but this story is definitely interesting. I mean, Kentucky Derby, everyone knows that, whether if you know horse racing or not.
And if you win the Kentucky Derby, you're automatically talked about because then you're up for the Preakness, which is being raced this weekend. Now, according to reports, Medina Spirit will be able to race because the toxicology or whatever, I don't know. I just kind of said that word because it's medical and I don't know if it has anything to do with PEDs. The results won't be back till Friday. The horse is already entered. People can bet on them right now. So a lot of people are keeping an eye on Medina Spirit because it's the Kentucky Derby winner. Now you're at the Preakness. And as you know, the big thing in horse racing, whether you watch it or not, you know what a Triple Crown is. A Triple Crown is a rare feat that is hardly ever done in the sport. But Gianni, besides that, I'm a big conspiracy guy, conspiracy theorist guy. And we won't go into detail about all the conspiracy theories out there I believe in, because if you're a good friend of mine out there in the ball pit, you know. There's a conspiracy theory, though, that this was all a stage. Because what have we talked about just in this show alone? All publicity is good publicity. And you and I don't pay a lick of attention to horse racing. Neither does Tyler Egan out there in the ball pit. Neither does a lot of my other friends or listeners in the ball pit. And look what we're talking about all of a sudden. Look what the TV shows, ESPN, Fox Sports, Turner Sports, Great Lakes, Ohio. Like, look what all the talk shows are talking about who've never really talked about horse racing.
I mean, that's absolutely right. Who knows what it'll do for the future of the horse racing? I mean, unfortunately, am I going to tune into a horse race? Probably not. Chances are very low.
At least you're honest.
But it may bring more eyes to it. Maybe I'm not sure how the horse racing business works, but like you said, all publicity is good publicity. It'll get more eyes on the sport. So who really knows? Honestly, only time will tell. Really, if you say there's this race coming up, we'll have to see how many people are talking about it.
Right.
And, we'll just go from there, I guess. Might have to talk about it on a later topic if anything else arises. But, for now, I'm not gonna watch it. So I mean,
Well,
I don't know.
but you might not watch it, and I don't even know. The race is Saturday. I don't know what I have going on. I might end up tuning in, but think about all the people that are going to watch now because controversy sells. And if Medina Spirit's still running, people are going to want to see, okay, we know he's not going to have this drug in his system now because he's been getting tested all week. Let's see if he's still a good racehorse. And then you want to see if he wins, because if he does, then you're one race away from winning the Triple Crown, assuming the Kentucky Derby crown isn't stripped, which it more than likely is going to be according to reports. So, but listen, that's just the one little thought I had out there is, could this be staged to get everybody talking about horse racing? Everyone interested. Everyone's going to tune into the Preakness now. It's just a wild theory. And sports racing actually is one of the most bet on things in the country, which is crazy to me. Like you people, like we know when I bet for the Indians, when I bet for the Cavs, the Browns, or certain big games, you know the players, you know who's been banged up and who hasn't practiced all week. When you talk about horse racing, you got like 14 horses to pick from. I usually go with the coolest name, and they're always in the back. So it's really weird.
Yeah, my whole thing on it is like, will it translate? Now, do I think it's like a conspiracy? Do I think it was put on by like the people behind horse racing? I don't even know who that is. If there's an organization behind it, if it has a name, but I honestly think that it was just this guy who's been training horses for forever, who's been getting away with, giving his horses performance enhancing drugs, and he eventually got caught. Honest truth, I think that's what happened. And I don't think it's some big conspiracy, in my opinion. I'm all for conspiracies too. Like I'm all for them, but I think this is just something that happened. And like I said, I won't probably tune in, but I'm sure other people who are either on the cuff of watching or who have never watched before, I'm sure it'll get more eyeballs, but not me.
No, right on. And like I said, I don't think I'll be watching unless I'm just sitting at home doing nothing. But I definitely am going to be interested to see at the ratings this race gets this weekend. Is it going to be an all-time high? Because people want to tune in to see what happens. We don't know. What I do know, though, is people are tuned in to see what happens in another sport and in another city concerning one specific player. I would call the horse the player in horse racing, just like you would call Aaron Rodgers the player in Green Bay, the quarterback in Green Bay, the defending MVP, most valuable player in Green Bay, and the greatest thrower of the football I've ever seen in my lifetime. He wants out. The Jeopardy host, part-time Jeopardy host, reigning NFL MVP, threw over 40 touchdowns last year, like between 4 and 8 interceptions, I think. Wants out of Green Bay because he's upset with the front office. And this news was leaked on draft night. And we touched on it in the last show 2 weeks ago, which you can go back and find on Spotify, Apple, or YouTube. But we didn't know what to expect. There's always been a lot of news leaked on NFL draft night. So Gianni, we know this is true. We know that Aaron Rodgers is disgruntled in Green Bay. We know he wants out. We know that apparently his preferred destinations are the 49ers, the Las Vegas Raiders, the Denver Broncos. What do you make of this, though? You're a big football fan, and your team resides out in the NFC.
Yeah, my whole thing with it is, well, hopefully he does not go to the 49ers. I don't want to see him twice a year. I'm a Rams fan, by the way. Always have been. But I personally hope he doesn't go to the 49ers just because I don't want to see him twice a year. But in my opinion, well, at the same time, he says he wants to go to these other teams, but Green Bay also says that they don't want to trade him, and they're not going to trade him. So what's going to happen there? You know what I mean? Like, that whole thing is like, yeah, he wants to go to other teams, but Green Bay's not going to trade him. So if Green Bay's not willing to trade him, then what's going to happen? A lot of people have been saying, well, is he just going to retire?
Yes.
That's another option. Who really knows?
There's the retirement option. There's he'll just sit out a year to prove to Green Bay that, hey, I'm not playing for you, and then they're going to have to trade him to get something for him. There's is this all an act by Aaron Rodgers because he loves the limelight? He loves being the center of attention. There's so many questions I have about this, and obviously I'm not a Packers fan, but I am concerned a bit because 2 of the 3 teams he wants to get traded to if he doesn't stay with Green Bay are still on the Cleveland Browns schedule, which at this point, if you're a Browns fan, you just better hope Aaron Rodgers sits out, because wherever Aaron Rodgers goes, that team is going to be favored in more than likely every game. That's how great of a player he is. That's how great of a talent the man is. And as a Browns fan, I love greatness. I respect greatness. Yes, I respect Tom Brady. I will fight anybody to the day I die. He is not the greatest of all time. Numbers back it up. You go by rings. This is the biggest team sport there is. But I love to watch Aaron Rodgers, but at the same time, as a Browns fan, I'm pretty selfish. Okay, I hope he doesn't play this year because I don't want him to play against my team.
That is very true. And, for the Rams, who I think have a very good team moving forward this year, the Packers are usually an opponent.
Mm-hmm.
So, I hope he doesn't play either. Although I love Aaron Rodgers. Who doesn't love Aaron Rodgers? Well, a lot of people don't like Aaron Rodgers.
Well, anybody in Green Bay right now, I'm not sure likes Aaron Rodgers.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's the question, because he says it's this upper office thing, which
it is,
which makes sense. And as a Packers fan, can you really be mad?
No,
I don't know.
That's the thing, and that's where I want to go. For everybody upset at Aaron Rodgers that says shut up and play, you're making $30 plus $40 million. I don't know. I think he's around $30 million with this extension right now. Picture this: you go into work one day, your boss asks you to do something, you excel at that. Your boss comes back and says, "Hey, I need you to do it again." You keep on doing it, but all of a sudden it gets a little bit harder, right? It gets a little bit harder. You get some youth in the office to challenge you, meaning youth in other teams in the NFC. You get a guy in Tom Brady that leaves the AFC and goes to the NFC. And now it's a little more challenging. So all you ask for is, hey, I want some help. Yeah, I'm great. I'm one of the greatest of all time. Help me out here. And your boss goes, yeah, I'm going to help you. And then just never helps you. That's what's going on in Green Bay. They haven't drafted an offensive weapon. And I don't mean offensive lineman. I mean a tight end, wide receiver, running back. Somebody to help Aaron Rodgers since 2002. Aaron Rodgers wasn't even in the league yet then. He came in 2006. Aaron Rodgers, yes, has Devontae Adams, top 3 wide receiver in the league, depending who you talk to, number 1. Yes, it's phenomenal. Look at the numbers he's put up with guys that have been undrafted, drafted in the later 5th, 6th, 7th round. Now, what happens if you draft a stud wideout, a stud tight end, a can't-miss running back to help him out and make your offense go even more, but instead they brought your backup in to help you? They replaced Aaron Rodgers already before Aaron Rodgers even out of Green Bay. And that's why he's pissed. And that's why I'd be pissed too.
I think he's just simply had enough. It could be a number of things, obviously the draft thing. But, I think it was just maybe the upper office. They got some new people. Maybe they're just not being very kind to Aaron. Who knows? But here's the thing with Aaron Rodgers right now is he has all the power. Mm-hmm. If he doesn't want to play, he's not gonna play because he has that money in the bank. He doesn't need to play. He could retire. He could have retired 5 years ago.
Just got married too.
Just got married, and it's just a whole thing where he has all the power. He can go wherever he wants if they decide to trade him. If he refuses to play, he will refuse to play. He has all the power in this situation, and he can do that because of his, amazing track record.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the loser here is going to be Green Bay unless they call for a face-to-face meeting, talk things out, and get things figured out. Right now, Green Bay is going to be the loser of this regardless. And you're right. I said the fans might be upset with him. And sure, I think some are, because they're the people out there that say, oh, just shut up and play. You're making all this money. You're an athlete. It goes a lot deeper than that, I think. And that's why you have to try to relate to it on a personal level. And there's going to be people who don't agree with everything I just said, trying to relate on a personal level, but that's what it comes down to. Aaron Rodgers has been lied to.
Well, yeah, like you said, if you think about it in like an office environment, mm-hmm. if you're going to work every day and your boss is an asshole to you, and all your higher ups are not being nice to you, it's not a good environment.
But don't forget, you're still the top of anybody in that, not just your office, but the entire field of what you're working in. That's what Aaron Rodgers is literally right now.
Exactly. And, these higher ups are telling you what to do and you're not liking it. You're like, well, I can just go do this somewhere else.
Right.
I'm putting up, or in business terms, I'm making the quotas. I'm doing this. I'm carrying this team. Without me, have fun and see what you do. But I'm going to go over here and do the same thing.
Right.
So, who knows what's going to happen with that? It'll be interesting to see. I'm sure things have escalated, fairly quickly. Like you said, draft night. The rumors came out, but you're like, okay, is this actually a thing? Like, he's had problems in the past, but is this actually true? And, we're sitting here now, and it's more true than ever. Everyone's talking about it.
Absolutely. And it's something that is going to be talked about for a long time. The only thing I won't tolerate is us talking about the Browns trading Baker Mayfield for him, because that's not even an option. The Browns have shot that down. All Cleveland media knows that it's just a talking point, because Cleveland fans and listeners are one of the most vocal and interactive and engaging fan bases there are in the country. And so ESPN puts all this talking point out. Would you trade Baker, 3 first-rounders, blah, 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 for Aaron Rodgers? And here's the simple answer to that. You don't do it. Quarterback was not the issue, the reason you didn't beat the Chiefs last year. Defense was. You just fixed your defense. Baker Mayfield's going to get to play for the same coach for the first time in his career, this being his 4th year. Guys, people that want to run Baker Mayfield out of town it's hilarious. I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers isn't better than Baker Mayfield right now. He is. It's not even a question. Aaron Rodgers is top 2 quarterback in the NFL. It's him and Patrick Mahomes, then everybody else. I'm not denying that Aaron is better than Baker. But why would you throw out your future for a good 2 to 3 years? That's don't forget. I just told you where Aaron wanted to go. Cleveland wasn't one of the teams. So everybody, let's trade for Aaron Rodgers. What happens if he comes here and says, fuck it, I don't want to play here either?
Yeah, well, it would be stupid if Cleveland did that. I think everyone can agree with that. Cleveland, Baker are on the up. For them to change that mojo and things they got going on, probably in the locker room too, would just be a weird move. What's funny is something that my dad told me when all this news started breaking out was he said, "Man, why did we have this QB trouble for the Rams? So long ago. If we had this now, we could be getting Aaron Rodgers."
Right.
Which who knows? Matthew Stafford, who knows what's going to happen with him. I'm excited to watch him play. But that's just like something funny to think about that, he said. It was just like, yeah, he can go anywhere he wants.
Mm-hmm.
And any team would be happy to have him.
Yeah.
Cleveland, I just don't think it's the right move. I mean, would he, provide good stuff to Cleveland? Absolutely.
Right.
But there's no reason why you would stop this mojo that you got going on right now. It just doesn't make sense.
And he's 38 years old. That's the thing. And you only get LeBron James and Tom Brady once, in a blue moon, as we're seeing. Guys that just defy father time and just continue to beat it. And that's right now. You don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to do that. We saw Big Ben was tearing things up in Pittsburgh as he's getting older. It's like, oh, he's not missing a step. Then he comes back last year, the year before, and just sucks. And I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers is going to do that, because Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, has a way better arm. One, isn't fat like Ben Roethlisberger, just a better, athlete in general. But there's just so many question marks around it. Before I get slammed, I'm reiterating the fact: Aaron Rodgers is better than Baker Mayfield. I'm going on record right now. And if you don't think that, you either watch football with your eyes closed or your TV off. It's one of the two. That's all there is to it. But I still wouldn't do it, and I'll stand by that take all the time. Right now, you don't know how much he has left. And if you're the Browns, you're building something. You are building a potential dynasty right now, and you don't throw it away for a potential 1-2 year run. And which, by the way, the Browns right now on paper look really good. Aaron Rodgers with the Browns on paper, really, really good. But guess what? The Browns in 2019 on paper looked really good, and then they won 6 games. That's why you don't play the paper game. That's why you don't play the schedule game. That's why you have to play the game on the field on Thursdays, Sundays, and Mondays.
Yeah, the Browns might be able to have, a mini Aaron Rodgers if, Baker Mayfield decides to have a little stash action like Aaron Rodgers does. I think that stash that Aaron Rodgers rocks is majestic.
Oh, it is.
And I think that it gives him magic powers. And, I think that defies father time alone. just my opinion on that. But Baker, I think the Browns are going to be fine. I don't think they need Aaron Rodgers at all. I mean, would it be cool to have him? Would it be a good story? Yeah, but you're also kind of destroying the future. Like you said, he is 38. Who knows how many years he's got left in him. There's no point to it. I think that's just pretty much the end of the discussion there. I mean, there's not much more to say other than it would be a bad move. You're stopping all the mojo. Whether you're going to build hype, yeah, but I don't know. At the cost of what? A few good seasons? Yeah. Who knows?
You don't know. Who's to say he doesn't come over here and get hurt? The same can be said. I mean, you can't predict injuries, but I'm glad you brought up his mustache, because between him and Gardner Minshew, like, everybody needs to chill out that thinks Trevor Lawrence is just going to go in there and beat out Gardner Minshew. Like, have you seen that Fu Manchu? Have you seen his facial hair? Impeccable facial hair by Gardner Minshew.
Don't forget the mullet.
No, that too. So I just wrote down, as you saw when you were talking, Gianni, I wrote down something. We're going to have a segment where we go through the best facial hair in all the sports, because that's just something that I think we need to cover. And really, that's something we can engage with people on Twitter and Instagram. So, and Sam, by the way, Sam has great facial hair. And I know Sam is going to be able to rank these guys with a great list, but we'll have to see what happens in Green Bay. We're going to have to see what happens with the rest of this show, because right now this episode is going to be over. I didn't want to go too long today. My big thing was get something out there to let you guys know that, yes, this show's still a thing. We were going through a transition period, and here we are now with episode 50. And if you missed the beginning of the episode, go back, listen to it, understand what was going on, the changes we made, and the new schedule that's going to be going out. No more Thursdays at 4 o'clock, Tuesdays, Thursdays at 4 o'clock. We will be live every once in a while on YouTube to engage with everybody out there in the ball pit. But the next episode, schedule permitting, it should be Gianni, the Sam Summers, the Sunshine Man, and me, Mitch Balla, your host of Cover Your Balls. But until then, this wraps up episode 50. We appreciate you hanging with us, staying patient with us, and we ask you just stay a little more patient with us through the next couple weeks as we're still getting this thing back on the tracks. But this has been episode 50 of Cover Your Balls. And we'll be back sometime soon. Stay tuned.